We should encourage corporations to invest more in research and development and the salaries of their employees. It's time for us to invest in educational opportunity to guarantee that we have the most highly skilled workforce in the world. For 6 out of every 10 jobs in the near term is going to require some education beyond high school. Folks, it's long past due to increase the minimum wage. That will lift millions of hardworking families out of poverty and in the process produce a ripple effect that boosts wages for middle class and spurs economic growth for the United States of America.
On February 12, 2014, President Obama signed Executive Order 13658, which establishes a new minimum wage of $10.10 an hour for federal construction and service contracts. Executive orders have the full force of the law, and they are passed by the executive branch, aka the President, and they take the lawmaking power away from the legislative branch, giving the President some discretionary power.
2 years ago, I worked at a bakery, and I got laid off. Now I live in a sleeping bag while I'm hunting for another apartment. So
the executive order proposed by President Obama will have many effects on our community. It will decrease poverty within the Bay Area. It will increase flow of currency. There will be more money for people to buy things. Bay Area has one of the highest living costs, and there is a lot of homelessness within the Bay Area. The cost of housing, electricity, and many other utilities is very expensive. Since we live in a very dense area, it is very hard for people to buy houses, and when they do buy houses, there's a good % chance they will get evicted. So because of this new executive order, which raises a minimum wage, people will have more opportunity to keep their houses, keep paying for their services, and have good credit, so they could increase our economic level and decrease poverty within the Bay Area.
If poverty then is a major problem that we're confronted with, let's look at poverty as a multi-dimensional problem: an education dimension, a training dimension, an economic dimension, an environmental dimension, a housing dimension, a health dimension, a justice dimension, a gender dimension, a racial dimension, an age dimension. If we address the dimensions that are an integral part of poverty, we will begin to solve the problem. Example, if housing is one of the dimensions of poverty, we develop a cogent housing policy. Someone has to build, modernize, rehab, and maintain housing. So you solve the housing problem, you strike a mighty blow toward poverty, you generate employment. So all I'm simply saying is let's begin to see the problem-solving strategy as a job creation strategy, and let's keep poverty on the front burner and address poverty as a multidimensional issue, because I think that the poverty program of the 60s.
So when they raised the minimum wage, we're like, oh, we don't really work yet, so it doesn't really matter. Like, sure, maybe it gets more money for our parents, but if you really think about it, the raise the minimum wage, although it was an executive order and it's got to be carried out immediately, the whole plan for it is going to be gradual. They're not just going to raise the minimum wage out of nowhere, like $2. It's going to be something that takes time, like a few years, just little by little. That way, you know, like taxpayers don't really feel a big impact. And, you know, it kind of sounds like it sucks, but it's a good thing for us because it's kind of coming to full effect once we start working. And we really need that extra money for college because it's going to be expensive, not just for tuition fees, but also just living in general, because we're in the Bay Area. And even if you move out of the Bay Area, like living in LA and just anywhere near California is pretty expensive. So living costs are going up and population's growing. So just having more money in general is like freaking amazing. You can never go wrong with having more money. And more than that, you want the raise of minimum wage because it's going to stimulate the economy, and not only are you going to have more money to pay for things, but stuff's going to cost less. So, you know, and when it comes down to it, it's going to affect everyone. Bam.